So during that time period then, were there any other disappointments? I mean, you had the mine taken away from you, which is pretty tragic to begin with, but any others?
Yes, there were, and of course you always hear about the discoveries, but I think it would be interesting and beneficial if people said more about their disappointments, because that is very educational in itself. There are three that come to mind. The first one was when I went to Moniwa. I arrived on site and all I could see was this huge lithocap, and there was two of them actually, but the best one was on the deposit called Chisingdon. It had some benches on it where they'd been drilling, and there was live limonite everywhere, so it was very clear that it was a leach cap and there was substantial supergene mineralisation under it, which was actually known from drilling. But what I saw, because of the alunite, vuggy silica everywhere, pyrophyllite, I thought this has got to be a good shot for a gold deposit. It was large, it was a hill, a very large hill. The whole thing was completely shot. It had barite veins and it had negative stripping ratio. So I thought to myself, my gosh, there's incredible potential here for a very sizable oxide gold deposit. So I must have, over the period of about 3 weeks, I'm jumping up and down, I collected perhaps 400 samples over the entire thing. Got them all back to Thailand where they were assayed in a proper lab, eagerly awaiting the results, and which came through about 10 days later. Absolutely zero for gold. Not even a sniff of gold. And just a couple of samples that I assayed the whole thing for arsenic. A couple of samples went 100 ppm. And I thought to myself, my goodness, what's going on? What happened? I was incredibly disappointed. I thought I'd found a real bonanza. And when I look at that in hindsight, I should have been a lot smarter. The drilling indicated that all the copper was chalcocite and covellite. There was no enegite. And so Moniwa is somewhat of a unique deposit in that it seems to be the copper-rich end member of that spectrum of gold, copper, high sulfidation type deposits. So with hindsight now, if I'd thought more about the copper mineralogy and understood the lack of enegite, I might not have been so optimistic about a huge open pit oxide gold situation. So I learned something on that one. The second one was I was doing an aerial prospecting program with the usual high-wing Cessna in the Phetchabun fold belt in central Thailand. By this time, of course, Chatri was up and running and doing extremely well. So I'm flying along with Michael Spatafora and we're looking out the window and we spotted a hill that was just crisscrossed with quartz veins. No workings on it. And we just looked at that and thought, gosh, look at that. It's fantastic. It had good size. You could see that the veins were, some of them were like this, sticking out of this hill, right? So we postponed the rest of the program and next day jumped in a vehicle, raced out to this place, and yes, we got to the top of the hill going over stockwork veining everywhere, coliform banding. Right on top of the hill was a big vein like this with multi-phase brecciation, carbonate replacement, coliform banding, everything you want to see, right? Tick, tick, tick. God, this is fantastic. Sample the hell out of it. Hundreds of samples. Nothing. Well, okay, maybe this is just some sort of surface effect. We can't ignore these textures, right? So drilled a couple of holes, again, nothing. So I think it's probably one of the world's best examples of a totally barren epithermal system in a productive belt. Same age.
With carbonate replacement.
Carbonate replacement. Same age as Chatri. Better looking rocks than Chatri, actually, to be honest.
But just no gold.
But no gold. So that was another extremely disappointing one. The third one...
It's great to be reminded on a daily basis quite how stupid you are, isn't it?
Well, yeah, or how easily it is to get carried away.
Yeah.
I guess that's because we're such optimists.
That's right, we're geologists.
Yeah, if you're not an optimist, you'll never find anything.
No, that's right.
So the third one, which still bothers me a bit actually, is the Shutine lithocap in southern Mongolia. When Ivanhoe went there, we also, not only did we do a joint venture with BHP, but we did a joint venture with a Canadian group called Quinkungs, and they had the Hamogtai deposit and the Shutine lithocap. So my first visit out there, I walked around, it's square kilometres, and this has been studied as part of a Maya project subsequently, much later. But walked around it, mapped it, I thought it looked fantastic. A lot of brecciation, sampled it extensively, and again got nothing. But couldn't walk away. Thought, well, there could be something under here. So eventually we drilled some 400-metre holes, I believe, over part of the best geophysics. Found the entire hole was altered. It had pyrophyllite, topaz, and no gold. So, but I still wonder at the size of something like that, whether if more extensive drilling was done, that perhaps something might be found. There were, on the eastern side of the Shooteen lithocap, I found high-level porphyries that had magnetite-bearing USTs, which is always a good sign for gold. And some of these rocks did go 2 and 3 grams gold. They were limited in size, and they were right on the eastern edge of that lithocap. So maybe one day somebody could find something at Shooteen, but if they do, I've missed it.
Maybe somebody listening to this this video will
Well,
head out to
if
Shooteen.
they do, good luck.
Yeah.
I wish them luck.